In your top story this hour, 3 of the 14 school children who died in Monday's crash in Vanderbijlpark will be laid to rest in Sebokeng today. Among them are brothers Lesego, Sefatsa and Phehello, Motaung, who were both in the taxi when it crashed into a side tipper truck. A joint memorial service was held for all the late victims in Sebokeng yesterday. Our reporters Zola Sholwana and Lesego are live for us from the township. Not a very good morning. It's a dark morning indeed. Ladies, good morning. Let me start with you, Zola. Can you tell us how the families of the children are doing today?
Well, Mr. Chaba, today is an extremely difficult day for this family that has not only lost one child but 2 children. Now, you will be able to see from my visuals that there's going to be people that are clad in their church regalia. Now, what we know about Phehello and, of course, the youngest, the 7-year-old, the younger brother, is that they really loved going to church. And the family says that what brings them comfort at this moment is that they introduced them to God, at a very young age, and they are, quite happy that they paved their way. But, the reality of knowing that your child is not returning, Master Chaba, is not an easy one for, these families. The other one had just started school, and of course, the other one who was at El Shaddai Independent School was close to completing high school. So these families were hoping that these children will live long enough to, become something in life. And now that their lives were, tragically cut short, the family is finding it hard, to come to terms with all of that. So we are outside the family home where we are expecting the bodies to arrive, and, the service will be held at a tent not far from where we are. At the memorial service, we heard from the families, the mother of Lesego essentially saying that this was, my only child, and, she doesn't know how life is going to be without these children moving forward. But she was comforted by the fact that these children, knew God, and the fact that, they would go to church. There are even pictures of them where they were clad in their church regalia. So what you are seeing right now is just the preparation, really, of a ceremony where we will be celebrating, the 2 lives of the children that have left an impact in the lives of many people that they touched. We are also anticipating to see some of their, school colleagues basically who will be here, as well as we saw them at the memorial service. They are expected to be rendering items here just to pay tribute to their fellow scholars who are no longer, a part of them. I mean, the most difficult part about all of this, Master Chaba, is just the thought of how they died, really, and that is what, the families are struggling to process at this moment. And of course, some of the family members were even at the scene before the bodies were removed by, authorities. So you can imagine how a parent is feeling like, from seeing their child in the morning, preparing them for, for school, dressing them up in that, uniform, preparing their stationery, and only to be called, just after 7 o'clock that, your child is no more. It's quite a devastating time for these families. And I mean, it's going to be a long journey ahead, Master Chaba, when you think about it. These families, when schools, when they see other children who are wearing the same uniform as their own children, they will be triggered. When it's their birthday, they will be, triggered. There's so many things that will be happening. I mean, today, when they see some of their church members dressed in the regalia that Phehello and Lesego would, ordinarily wear on a Sunday, this will be another reminder that their children are no more, and they will have to deal with what comes. But we know that there is a man who was the transport driver, and he was also amongst the survivors. that is, of course, facing charges in relation to the death of these 14 students. Initially, there were 12 that had died that were declared deceased on the scene. And, later on in the week, we then heard about two who were two of the oldest victims amongst the 14 who succumbed to their injuries in hospital. So as soon as there is movement, Masechaba, as far as, of course, the arrival of their remains, as we are expecting them to arrive any time from now, and we know that the funeral is expected or scheduled to start at 7:30, but there are delays that can be expected. We will then, get back to you about that. But we're also, hoping to hear from the family, how this day feels like for them, because this is where you get to see that, I get to realize as a mother or a father that this is it. Your child is gone, and, their book of life, has been closed for good, Master Chaba. So it's not going to be an easy day for these families, but of course, we will keep our viewers updated about anything that is happening here in the Vaal.
Oh, may their souls rest in peace. It's a difficult day indeed. Thanks very much, Zola. We'll be taking you back there throughout the course of this morning.